Yeah, I believe this damn Uncle Tom, the damn so-called greeter, gave this Caucasian motherfucker my YouTube channel. And y'all know I got some shit to say, right? Oh yeah. Oh, well, I guess eventually I need my Bible. I'm definitely gonna get this apocrypha here. Nah, he did say, "Oh, I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy." It's a lot of so-called white people say shit like that. That's the same thing that the Native American, no, excuse me, the Spaniards said to the Native Americans. And what did they do? They gave them blankets. How did this shit start? The Native Americans gave the Spaniards blankets. What does it mean when a Native American gives you a blanket? Blanket is an accordance special significance in Native American society. A blanket ceremony shows respect for those who have made an important contribution to our community in some way and are given a gift as graduate congratulations, a pillow, woe, as think the gifts in communication of births and deaths. What did this the peach call white people? Okay. How many months did the Native Americans get striped by the Spaniards? How many months was it? I said it right. The Spanish conquist, conquest was a prolonged multi-country process rather than a few months of conflict, while specified battles like the 93-day siege of Tech, okay, I don't know what's it, 151, let's see, 1521 were intense, the overreaching camp, campaign involved decades of warfare, force and labor such as 6 months, my cycle, and colonization that lasts for over 20 years in regions like oh, I don't know what that is. So how long did the Spanish, how long did it take the Spanish to destroy the Aztecs? Armies besieged in 93 days, and a combination of superior weaponry and a devastating smallpox outbreak, enabling the Spanish to conquer the city. Courts victory destroyed the Aztec Empire, and the Spanish began to consolidate control over what became the colony of the New Spain. This is when the conquistadors took over the Spanish people, you know what I mean? And the Spanish, the so called Spanish Jews, converted to the Israelites biblical nationality. They converted to the they was apostles, and they converted to the Jews uh ceremonies and stuff. They converted to this new religion that they created. And this is how the Roman Catholics in America became Catholics by large, because most of those Catholics are converts. Like my father was a Catholic. My dad's people, I would say they was all Catholic and stuff like that. And our people got fooled off into that. My mother told me if my father was living and I was talking like this, she said, "Boy, that would be a big debate." I said, he'll get so mad. Now I'd be like, I don't give a damn. I'm mad. Yeah, it's the truth. Is the truth. All right. Look what the Bible says here. Let's put on, since the words are small, I'll go ahead and put my glasses on. I know you in here watching from Walmart. Talking about he unsubscribed. Never, and that's the title of this video. Never believe your enemy when he says he unsubscribed from your channel. Never believe your enemy when he tells you that he unsubscribed from your channel. Because I'll tell him in a minute, you're a motherfucking unsubscribed goddamn lie. You see what I'm saying? The motherfucker sit there and probably down. He done probably got a whole list of my videos and probably went and downloaded them, and then the Uncle Tom probably watches my channel too. So they both watches my channel. You know they're not going to unsubscribe from the video. They watch every single video I put out now. Yeah, they putting it there. They watching them. When you think a so-called white person, especially believe in your enemy. Listen to this, and I'm gonna come back and explain what I'm talking about. Look what the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 6 and verse 13. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. The Most High saying, separate from you. What you said, oh, I'm not the enemy, I'm not the enemy, I'm not the enemy. You're a motherfucking enemy, ain't the enemy alive. Because Most High, God, says, separate from you devils. That's what the Bible says. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friends. And up here in verse 7, and this is the Uncle Tom that betrayed me. I was talking to him, and God allowed it to happen so I won't get messed up with this damn Uncle Tom, because he'll sell his people out in a minute and go and stand up in the courtroom and testify against you. Even if it was you and a so-called white man, he'll be the main one, get up on the witness stand and testify against his own kind. Let's look at this here. Ecclesiastes 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. You can't just invite anybody into your presence, into your house. I wouldn't invite people like that around my people, my family members and stuff. Especially, I know family members that's innocent and they got a good spirit and a good heart. No, because you are dangerous. You are a dangerous Uncle fucking Tom. That's what you are. You sell your people out to the white men, so-called. And if your ancestors was living, or a lot of them that years ago before my time, and your ancestors before your time, and if being wise the way they would be highly disappointed at you as a so-called black man, as a greeter, standing at the door, being an asshole for the damn same people who kill our people every day. Those are your enemies. Now let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 10. Never trust thy enemy. What the Bible says? Never trust thy enemy, for as like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and be aware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. That's what the Bible says. Don't trust them. I don't care how good they say that is. All that evil, know for sure that evil is not wiped away. No care how they purport themselves to be. Most High said, never. That's what it says. There we go. Never trust thy enemy. That's what the Most High said. Never trust thy enemy. That's what the Bible said. That's in the Apocrypha, King James. This is in the King James Bible. See, the Roman Catholics took that out of this Bible. But this is the rest of the Bible that they took out of this, like 80 books in here. Yeah. This is the King James, and this is the King James Apocrypha. It's the same thing. But they got all the scriptures in here. The Most High said, never trust thy enemy. Now let's go to some. People say, well, we're not still enslaved to this day, right? Well, let's guess what? I got news for them. Look what the Bible says in Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. Baruch chapter 3 and verse 8. The Bible said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, that where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments. That means over here being in slavery, we still paying taxes. We still paying, we got to pay for everything, rent, everything. We're doing these things because our ancestors disobeyed God by breaking the commandments of God, and God used it. Ask yourself this question: how did our ancestors get over here? I'm gonna show you that. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. What is captivity? Captivity means slavery. What did I do with my? Okay, yeah, it means slavery, bondage, or slavery. We're still in modern day slavery. It says, behold, verse 8 of Baruch 3 and verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God. That's the key word. That's the reason why we're suffering and going through with these things with the so-called white man. Is because we didn't do what the Most High told us to do. We didn't keep His commandments, and He sent the enemy against us because we didn't do it. Verse 9, hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happy it Israel, thou art in thy enemy's land. See, he said, Israel, thou art in thy enemy's land. We're over here in the enemy's land. And the real land for us will be Jerusalem. That's Galatians 4 and 26. It says that Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. And when you look up the word all, it's talking about all Israel. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 1 and verse 1. It's talking about the Israelites. Let's read that again in verse 9. Baruch 3 and verse 9. Hear Israel, the commandments of life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happy it Israel that thou art in thy enemy's land. Thou art waxen old in a strange country. Thou art defined with the dead. Thou art counted with them that go down unto the grave. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. That means the commandments of God. For if thou hadst walking in the way of God, thou shouldst have dwelt in peace forever. Learn where is wisdom, where is strength, where is understanding, that thou mayest know. Also, where is laughter, laughter of days? Where is the length of days? And life, where is the light of eyes and peace? Who had found out her place, or who has come unto her treasures? Where are the princes of the heathen? Become such a rule the beasts upon the earth. They that had their pastime with the fowls of the air, and they that holders up silver and gold, wherein man trusts and made no end of their get it. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 33 and verse 8. By the knowledge of the Lord they were distinguished. That means made different. Distinguished means we're different from the other nations. And he altered season and feast. Verse 11. In much knowledge the Lord divided them and made their ways, that means that their ways thinking, and made their ways diverse. That means different. Diverse means to be different. We're not the same as the so-called white man. They do things different from the way we eat. For example, they eat their steak half. They eat it red, half rare done. We go into a steakhouse and because it happened to me. And I said, I looked at the chicken and I said, I told my mother, I said, this is half done. Because I wouldn't have felt comfortable eating it half done. She said, well, just take it back up there and let them tell them. And I did. They took the chicken and they got some more and cooked it, fully cooked it. I said, I don't eat nothing half done. That's what I said. In much knowledge, verse 11, Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 11. In much knowledge, the Lord divided them and made their ways diverse. That means different. He made our ways different. We don't have no damn deer go out and hunt in the forest and be hunting and shooting shit and be proud of it and take and kill a damn mountain lion and then come back in here and glue that shit on the wall and decorate and put blood all around it and be happy about that shit and the damn house looking like a damn forest. We don't do it. Nah. I don't like doing it's just uncomfortable to think about it. We're different. See, we ain't got shit on our wall. We'll have pictures and shit on our wall, but shit, in this case, I ain't got shit on this wall. No. You don't see nothing but boxes. Maybe that, oh, damn, I got a computer sitting down in that chair. It's a laptop or whatever. It's an old one of them huge package. Other than that, that's it. You ain't gonna find me. Hell no. Let's go and let's read. Let's see what nation. I want somebody to read to follow along with this here and put in the comment section. Tell me what nation of people this happened to. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. What nation of people who came into over here on slave ships? Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies, not to your friend, not to your neighbors, not to your best friend. The Most High says your enemies. For bondmen, that means slave man, and bondwoman, that means a slave woman. And no man shall buy you, meaning that no man, nobody gonna be able to redeem you out of this captivity. Nobody gonna be able to come and save us out of the hands of the so-called white man and all the other nations that colonize our people and you know what I'm saying, and put us in slavery and stuff like that. It said no man is not going to be able to save you. Malcolm X tried to save us. Marcus Garvey and all these people, these um, ministers that tried to lead or whatever, lead, come here and lead, they couldn't do it. The only person that's going to be able to redeem us is the black Messiah. And Christ is a so-called black man. He ain't no pale-faced damn devil. No. This is what the Bible described that he looks like. People tell you color don't matter, right? Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, I don't see Christ as a spirit. He's not a color. Let's see if the Bible agrees with you. Revelation chapter 1, verse 1. What does the word revelation mean? The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John. The revelation of Jesus. What does revelation mean? Let's look up the word revelation right quick. What does the word revelation mean? What does the word revelation mean in the Bible? Okay, here we go. It says in the Bible, revelation from the Greek apollos means uncover or unveil or make known of these of something previously hidden, something that's previously hidden. When you say revelation, that's what revelation is. Revelation means something to be revealed that you need to know. Yeah. And uncover, unveil, or make known of something previously hidden, specifically the divine disclosure of truth from God to humanity. It is the act of God revealing his purpose, plans, and nature to mankind rather than humanity describes them on their own. Let's go and let's read. Yeah, I know he ain't here watching right now. Tell you he ain't watching that. You never believe a so-called white man. I would accept a Negro saying that, man, I unsubscribe from you or something like that. Want somebody, but a so-called white man, hell no. You know that man ain't gonna unsubscribe from a man of color, what they call a nigger, especially if it has something to do with the history of their people. He getting these videos, he probably take this one and download. Let's look at verse 14. Remember I told you revelation means to reveal. Look what it John the Revelator when he was on the island of Patmos, what he saw. He's telling what he saw. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass? Brass is contributed the color of a penny, and if as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice is the sound of many waters. So when just like if a person called the so-called white or called the police, right? And they say somebody broke in a house and they got cameras everywhere. Now, in order to find the right suspect in their law, what do? They have to go back and look at the footage of what was so they'll know how to go and they'll get a general idea of who they finna go after and what to look for and the type of clothes the person have on. If the so-called white man that's a damn police officer according to their law, they walk up and they start taking reports and right. The purpose of them is to take reports is to look for evidence of what something would look like, right? They don't go around and say, oh well, it doesn't matter, the person is a spirit. If the so-called white man, what do they look like? Let's look at the footage. Oh, it doesn't matter what they look like. They spirit. They'll look at you like you crazy and say, well, what is you calling us for to report something? You can't even give us a description of what they look like. How we gonna help your case? That's what they will say. Yeah. At that point, you'll be making a fool of yourself. Look at this here. Revelation 1:14. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass. What color is brass? Contributor brown. As if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So he was given a description of what he looked like. Now let's go and see what Daniel 10 and verse 6 is telling how John the Revelator and Daniel is on the same page with this image of what Christ looked like. Daniel 10 and verse 6. The Bible says in Daniel chapter 10 and verse 6. Okay, good. Daniel 10 and verse 6. Now look, y'all can see it. Daniel 10 and verse 6. His body also was like the barley, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass, and the voice of his words like the voice of a multitude. It says his body also was like the barley, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass. So it says arms and feet like in color. It didn't say his arms and his feet. It didn't matter what his arms and feet looked like. It didn't say that. It didn't matter. It didn't say it didn't matter what his arms and his feet looked like, because his arms and his feet is a spirit. He's a spirit. It would that, but it didn't say that. His arms and his feet like in color. Yes. So far from what we read from Deuteronomy chapter 28:68, the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again, with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold to your enemies. The so-called white man was not sold to no enemies. They are the enemies, and they sold our people to the so-called white man. So I'll get deeply into that another time, whatever. But we clearly can see that when people say that it doesn't matter, he's a spirit, you know what I'm saying? Yes, it does matter what he looked like. Because if somebody broke in your goddamn house and you call the law, or you call the so-called white man, the so-called police, or whatever, is you gonna tell him that, oh, what does he look like? Can you give us a description? Oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter what he looked like. I just want y'all to catch somebody. It would make no sense to him. You see what I'm saying? Why you think the law enforcement, the so-called law enforcement, the dirty devil law enforcement, they law, um, enforces things, you know what I'm saying, and do what they do, or whatever. It's not really about no loyalty. It's not about just, not for both so-called black people and Hispanic people. Hell no. Yeah. And I don't know why I'm getting sleepy here, but um, never believe your enemy when he said he unsubscribed from your channel. So that's the title of the video. Don't never believe and trust your enemy, because the Bible tells you don't never trust your enemy. So I'll be back in another video.